Hello children, how are you all? Hope you all are doing good. Today we are going to learn English. In last session we saw the first lesson, hard words, missing letters, book back exercise and question answers. I think you all are thorough with that. Okay, now let's move on to our first poem, Beyond the Universe. Okay children, what is universe? Do you know what is universe? Let's see what is universe now. The universe is everything we can touch, feel, sense, measure or detect. It includes living things, planets, stars, galaxies, dust, clouds, light and even time. Okay, now let's move on to our poem. First I will read the poem. Beyond the universe. I dream of flying beyond the earth, amidst the planets and the countless stars. I would stop by the red planet Mars. Here we dream of a home away from home. Fly on to watch the Saturn with its ring and moons. Then I stopped by Jupiter, marveled by its red storms that looked like marbles. Huddling through a belt of asteroids, I crossed Uranus without a fuss to Neptune, the blue-eyed giant. Further high, I fly beyond the galaxy to meet the creator of this magnificent display, to take me beyond the Milky Way, to voyage across the galaxy. Here, the poet is dreaming of flying beyond the earth. Okay, so he wants to fly in the space which is filled with planets and countless stars. So he's saying that he would stop by the red planet called Mars. Here, red planet Mars, where we studied this before, we saw in the first lesson, red planet Mars. Okay, so he would stop by the red planet Mars and he dream of a home away from home. Why he's saying that? In first lesson we saw that in future the humans are staying in the Mars. So he is dreaming of living in Mars. Okay. So then he started to fly and fly to watch the Saturn with the rings. So Saturn planet has a rings around it. Okay. So he is watching the Saturn and moons. Then he stopped by Jupiter and marveled by its red storms that look like marvels. So he is seeing a red storm in the Jupiter planet and that looks like a marbles. Okay, here then see the next line. Huddling through a belt of asteroids. Here huddling means racing over the barriers. Okay, so he is racing over the asteroids and he crossed the Uranus without a fuss. Okay, then he is flying to Neptune and he is seeing a very big giant blue eyes. Okay, then further he is flying to he fly to beyond the galaxy to meet the creator. Who is our creator? God is our creator. So he is flying through this to meet the creator of this magnificent display. So the God can take him beyond the Milky Way and to see voyage across the galaxies. So he is dreaming of meeting the creator. So it is a very interesting poem we saw. Now let's move on to glossary. So let's start the glossary. Beyond, outside the limits or reach. Outside the limits or reach. Amidst, surrounded by. Marveling, something that causes wonder. Resembles, to be like or similar to. Marbles, a little ball of glass or clay used by children to play. A little ball of glass or clay used by children to play. Huddling, racing over the barriers. Then further, to move ahead. Now let's move on to match the following. Okay, match the planets and its features. Mars. Mars is called what? Red planet. Saturn has ring and moons. Jupiter, red storm. Uranus, rolling on its axis. Neptune, blue ice giant. Now let's move to our answer the following. In his dream, where is the poet flying to? The poet flies beyond the earth in his dream. The poet flies beyond the earth in his dream. Which planet has rings around it? Saturn has rings around it. Saturn has rings around it. Which planet has red storm? Jupiter has red storm. Why the poet flies outside of the universe? The poet flies outside of the universe to meet his creator. Then name the planets the poet flies through. Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune are the planets the poet flies through. Once again, I will read the question answers for you children. In his dream, where is the poet flying to? The poet flies beyond the earth in his dreams. The poet flies beyond the earth in his dreams. Which planet has rings around it? Saturn has rings around it. Saturn has rings around it. Which planet has red storm? Jupiter has red storm. Why the poet flies out of the universe? The poet flies out of the universe to meet his creator. Name the planets the poet flies through. Mars, Jupiter, Uranus and Neptune. Mars, Jupiter, Uranus and Neptune are the planets the poet flies through. I think you all understand the poem, match, glossary and question answers. Kindly do your homework and submit your homework in the Google Classroom. We will meet in the next session. Thank you children. Have a nice day.